Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back in another video day. And today, Randall Cobb, former Packers wide receiver, and I will mention this because I am a Texans fan. I know it wasn't his best year of his career, maybe one of his, I wouldn't say it was a bad year for him, just terrible year as a team. Former Texan, which he played for the Texans in 2020, and then the Texans sent him right back to Green Bay. But Randall Cobb has announced his retirement. Randall Cobb has said that he could be open to playing in the NFL again. If he gets the right offer, or if he gets an offer at all. I think he said something about potentially return to the NFL. But he is joining the SEC network as an analyst, I believe, for CBS. And I love it for Randall Cobb. I think he'll be great on TV. He's a guy that has a lot of knowledge, and not just NFL, but football in general. And he's one of those guys that would fit perfectly into coaching or TV, either one. I think TV might be better for Randall Cobb. I'm not saying he would be bad as a coach, but I think Randall Cobb is perfect for TV. Would have loved to see him potentially be on the NFL. Talking about NFL on TV, but I still watch college football, so I'm sure I'll see him, on the SEC network talking about college football. But I want to go over, what he's done in his career, because he's had a really successful career. He's a one-time Pro Bowler, which is crazy that Randall Cobb has had such a good career, and he only had, one Pro Bowl selection. But this past season was a really rough year. He goes to New York to team up with his buddy, his as he's called him, one of his best friends, Aaron Rodgers. And we all know what happens in week one, third or fourth play of the New York Jets season. Aaron Rodgers gets sacked and he tears his Achilles. And I think that was a big killer for Randall Cobb. I'm not saying Randall Cobb has a huge season if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt and he stays healthy, but I think Randall Cobb, for sure, you could say, does a lot better and is a lot more involved in that New York Jets offense if Rodgers doesn't go down, because he only played 11 games with one start, 17 targets, 5 receptions, and 39 receiving yards with 1 touchdown. I think everybody could agree that Randall Cobb would 100% be more involved in that if Aaron Rodgers does not get hurt. In 2022 with Green Bay, the season before with Aaron Rodgers, he had 13 games played, 3 starts, 50 targets, 34 receptions, 417 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. 2021 with Green Bay, 12 games, 3 starts, 39 targets, 28 receptions, 417 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. 2021 in Green Bay, 12 games, 3 starts, 39 targets, 28 receptions, 375 receiving yards, 5 receiving touchdowns. 2020 with the Texans, 10 games, 2 starts. He had 48 targets, 38 receptions, 441 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. This was one of his best years in a while. And he actually said, he said on a podcast that he made a very stupid decision leaving the Dallas Cowboys, which I'm not a big fan of the Dallas Cowboys, but I actually more of a Dallas Cowboys hater than a Dallas Cowboys fan. But I could tell you all, he did make a huge mistake leaving the Cowboys, because he was in a perfect situation. He was a guy that Dak Prescott loved throwing the ball to. I feel like, probably in that situation, Randall Cobb was the closest thing that Dak Prescott had since Cole Beasley left. Because Cole Beasley was a guy that Dak loved to throw the ball to. Randall Cobb comes in. I think that was a great replacement for a Cole Beasley. And so Dak just loved throwing the ball to him. But the more important thing is that Mike McCarthy was there as the head coach. And obviously, Mike McCarthy was with Randall Cobb in Green Bay. And this is something that Cobb talked about, and he missed that opportunity because, in the 2019 season with the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy was not the head coach yet. Jason Garrett was still coaching the Dallas Cowboys. Randall Cobb had a excellent season, 15 games, 6 starts, 83 targets, 55 receptions, 828 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. Unbelievable season for Randall Cobb, which if you look at it in his last seasons, that's his best season. Outside of the 2000, you can look at some of the earlier seasons of his career. Look at 2015, 2014, 2012, 2019 is like his last great year in the league, and Mike McCarthy comes in as the head coach the next season. He's been their head coach since then, and the Cowboys wanted to bring him back. He chose, look, as a Texans fan, I feel like dirt for saying this, but he chose the Texans over the Cowboys, and at the time, the Texans looked like a good move. Deshaun Watson was, having a great career. He was turned into a great young quarterback. They had DeAndre Hopkins, and then everything went down spiral with the Texans, and Cobb talked about this, and he could have been with his old head coach, with Mike McCarthy, and a guy in Dak Prescott who loved throwing the ball to him. But in the end, Randall Cobb went back to, playing with the guy he loves the most, Aaron Rodgers, because after a bad year in 2020 with the Texans, times that I can say all Texans fans are over, he returned to Aaron and played his last 3 seasons of his career with Aaron Rodgers. Even if the past season we just witnessed was only 4 plays with Aaron Rodgers. So, but Randall Cobb had a great career. He had a 1,300 receiving yard season in the 2014 season with 12 touchdowns. That was the year that, Randall Cobb looked like a all-pro wide receiver. He put up 1,300 receiving yards with 12 touchdowns in his 4th season of his career. The next season, he had 830 receiving yards with 6 touchdowns in 2015. But after that, things just kind of got a little bit worse the next couple years. From 2016, 2017, 2018 with Green Bay, things just continued to get even more worse for Randall Cobb. But then he goes to Dallas in 2019, and he's finally playing like that elite wide receiver again. And then he leaves Dallas, goes to Houston. He wasn't bad in Houston. I'm not going to say he was bad in Houston. It was just kind of bad in Houston because the Texans weren't winning. The Texans, I believe, won 4 games that year. I believe the Texans went 4-12 that year. But then the Texans trade him to Green Bay. He gets to play with Aaron Rodgers again. So it was a up and down career for Randall Cobb. He finishes his career with 7,624 receiving yards and 54, touchdowns. Look, I think you can make an argument that maybe one day Randall Cobb could potentially be a Hall of Famer. He won a Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. He's been selected to a Pro Bowl. He has nearly 10,000, kind of close to 10,000 receiving yards. So I think it could be a long shot for him to be a Hall of Famer, but I think he definitely has the type of career to be a Hall of Famer potentially. Let me know your thoughts on Randall Cobb announcing his retirement in the comment section, and peace out.